Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm, and you are tuning in to episode 67, The Quest to Find Your Mini-Me. Listen, if you want to scale your business so that you can generate more revenue without working around the clock, you may be at a point of really needing to hire other team members to essentially do what you do. It's not uncommon for me to be asked the question, how do I find my mini-me? Such a simple yet loaded question, right? And today I'd like to help break down the answer to that question as a sneak peek into an exclusive 5-part curriculum we will be launching this fall called Confidence to Scale, the limited edition podcast for In-Demand Aesthetic Injectors. This will be a private, by application only podcast masterclass series for 7-figure injectors. And you guys, the goal here is to really move away from business basics and have a more elevated conversation to address one of the critical roadblocks we face with our most in-demand injectors, which is how to scale their genius work. And my team and I are on a mission to help 100 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year. And when I looked back at some of the most common roadblocks we helped our clients work through in 2020, really the top 3 pain points were 1, building a team, 2, standing out from the crowd in a saturated market, and 3, finally growing a business in a strategic way that doesn't require burning the candle at both ends. In other words, all of these 3 milestones merge at one critical inflection point where this superwoman strategy that essentially got our clients to where they are now is no longer effective. Meaning the grit, grind, hustle, that hard work that got you to where you are now just won't any longer help you advance. Instead, this growth mindset may begin to work against you, pulling you into a spiral of unfocused priorities, disjointed systems, and long wait lists that sound good as marketing tactics, but don't in fact grow your net worth. Here's the thing, as a medical provider doing your brilliant hands-on one-on-one work with patients, the idea of scaling can be very challenging for several reasons. First, nobody can do it quite like you. You have years of experience, training, teaching, and perfecting. That takes time. Plus, you're freaking awesome. So simply pawning off your well-earned clients to another young pup just isn't acceptable. And if you hire someone with the right amount of experience, they will already have their own techniques, and this will essentially interrupt the consistency of the patient experience that you provide. Secondly, it will take time to train somebody to do it your way. And the point is, time is something extremely scarce as it is for you right now. And then third, you've built the relationships you have with your patients on a foundation of trust that is simply not transferable. So here's quite literally the $1 million challenge. How do I convince somebody who comes to my practice to be treated by me to get treated by someone else? And I'm here to tell you that the answer to this question will begin and end with your ability to shift your value, contribution, and significance as an injector to what you can create as a CEO. I remember talking a couple years ago with my business coach, and I told her, look, I just can't get out of the details. The work I do with my clients is too important. And she really challenged me here. Her goal was to really uncover where I was getting the deep fulfillment, meaning, and contribution from in my business. Was it in fact true that nobody could support my clients like me? Or was I not letting someone else support them? Here's the thing. As I grew my company, I had to make internal shifts around where that sense of growth and connection came from, essentially moving away from the feel goods I got as a coach into a profound connection to the mission behind the work I do and the team that I'm building. And let me be clear, I absolutely love the work that I do with clients, but I have put systems in place to enhance that work and to allow me to maximize the impact that I'm able to make within my business and expand. And I saw this firsthand when I was working with really one of our most successful aesthetic providers last year, who was doing a big rebrand in her business. And she was essentially transitioning away from her own personal brand to one that was a more universal philosophy, really unattached to her. And she was really having a hard time removing her name from the business. Listen, one of our most significant human emotional needs is connection. And this client really derived a significant amount of her sense of contribution from her work. But perhaps like you, she's always done that by seeing the direct impact of her hands-on aesthetic work. Now, as she has begun to grow, she really needed to elevate what created value for her patients beyond what is directly done by her. And this internal work has to be done if you want to scale your company beyond what you can deliver yourself. You need to be open to the idea that you have the capacity to make an even bigger impact in the world. If you don't, take my word for it, you will have a hard time convincing others of that. If you continue to regard the work you do as an injector as the highest value that you have to offer, your clients will too. Remember, there are many who can do what you do, but there are very few who can create the culture, impact, and ecosystem that you are able to build as a CEO. It starts with your mission. It starts with you. If you're an aesthetic injector and suspect that you are at this powerful inflection point, you know it's time to level up, to do the internal work to reposition yourself from overworked injector to a woman who is ready to step into her role as a bossed up CEO and build a real company. I have a treat for you. Like I mentioned, this fall, I will be releasing a limited edition private podcast called Confidence to Scale. And this will be a series of 5 powerful audio trainings that will walk you through a step-by-step blueprint to priming yourself and your systems to attract and fully book your next injector, and then build a business model that is able to scale with you at the helm. And after the 5 weeks curriculum, we will host an invite-only focus group for these participants to really meet, collaborate, and commune with each other, with colleagues, and with me. Again, this isn't for your basic brand new business. This is really for the advanced, in-demand aesthetic injector who already has a steady flow of clients and is really looking to take their business to the next level. If what I'm saying is really resonating with you and you feel like you are at this inflection point in your business and you are ready to scale up and really take your business to the next level, you can register for this masterclass on our wait list. Access to this series will open up first to the wait list. You can go to www.klcconsultants.com/scale to get more information about this series and get yourself on the wait list so that you have access to the application process as soon as we open doors up. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and good luck with finding your next mini-me. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me for this episode of The Fierce Factor. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you subscribe so you can automatically get new shows every week. I'd also love it if you left us a review. And come join the conversation online. If you're an aesthetic industry owner, operator, or leader, please join my free Facebook group, The Tribe of Fierce Aesthetic Leaders. a community of ambitious, purpose-driven professionals who collaborate and share best practices for growth in business and life. I'm honored you tuned in.